Hello.
Hello from across the pond, across the Atlantic. Greetings. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well.
The Florida sunshine looks as though it's suiting you.
The what?
The Florida sunshine.
It is, yes. Yeah, the Italian in me, the minute I step out in the sun, even though I have like SPF 50 on, and I've only been to the beach a handful of times, just being, I think, out in the sunshine. Yep, it's lovely.
Well, we have a bit of a lack of that in the UK at the moment because it's just very grey and wet and not very nice. So you know what it's like in the UK when the sunshine is out, we go running and just stand in it.
Oh, wait, now the sun is over here. I'm going to go over here in the field, and now it's moved. So
very much so.
I love it. Love it. Okay, so let's get started because we've got a lot of fun stuff to kind of go over with everybody, Claire.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that we have plenty of time. So let's get started. Brandon, why don't we first? I want to talk about, because we've got this huge mentoring mania, and it is crazy town what's happening in Style Dots this month, and all the people that are coming in. So Claire and I are going to get to kind of visiting and sharing with you some tips on mixing colors and how do you accessorize and wear different colors, and what colors go good together. And so for all of you out there that are matching like me, Claire's going to help us take some steps outside of our box, maybe baby steps, maybe big steps, but I'm looking forward to that. But before we do that, Brandon, let's talk about, maybe I didn't tell them that we should at least mention that we have a social selling showcase happening right now here in March. For $149, you can start your Style Dots business, earn some extra money towards vacations. Maybe you want to come visit the sunshine when you feel like you can travel. Maybe you want extra money towards retirement or whatever it is. Maybe you're just wanting friendships. Like, don't hesitate to ask us some questions. We would love to answer any questions you have, and would love to have you explore whether or not Style Dots is a good fit for you. Plus, we have this amazing opal couture set that's valued at over $140. And so when you join and get qualified, you get a free set, and you get an additional set for anybody that you bring into the business. So absolutely love it. I was wearing it on Tuesday night, and the detail in it, Claire, is fabulous. So
I think this set is stunning, and there's a prime example, and I think it plays perfectly into our hands that we're talking about colour today. That's got sort of all the colours there, and they just work together. But what I think I really like about sort of the statement dot is that it's got elements of black there, which I think is a really good foundation colour to then layer on sort of all the bright colours on top of it. So I think that whole combination, and then that sort of really bright blue in the centre, the opal in the centre, just sets it off. So I think that is just a riot of colour going on there. It's just
absolutely beautiful. Pops. So yeah, you're right. Okay, let's take a look at, Valerie says, I want that set. Well, now you know how to get that set, Valerie. Okay, let's take a look at our first look and kind of what you have in mind and what you're thinking for this. We'll get started.
Okay. So what I wanted to do is sort of initially hit upon sort of the colour theory, really. So with colour, you have three primary colours. So you have red, blue and yellow, and they're your three primary colours. But with these pieces, this is our Sophia dot, statement dot in the center with the original in the key Brinkley necklace, and it's just sort of pure red, really bold, sumptuous color, and particularly with Sophia we've used light cyan AB crystals, to set the red colour off. And what I love about this is it just picks up those red tones, but also has hints of other colours going on there as well.
Yeah.
And I think it just, the bling necklace that this dot is snapped into just sets off any colour. And I just think this is a bold statement, and you can't really tell from sort of the visual here, but I've used the blinky necklace because that hangs lower. So again, it taps into that layering. So you have that, and it's sort of a sort of strong look where you've got the pop of red in the short necklace, and then you're highlighting and coordinating that with the longer line with the key necklace.
Yeah, that bling necklace has been in our line. We edited it to have a recessed setting, but as far as the bling series, that's been a part of the Style Dots collection since the very beginning, and that's just how popular it is. So I would say that the classic and the bling, those are the ones that have been around pretty much the whole time, and you just have all those crystals kind of haloing or wrapping around any dot that you're going to put in there, and it just is so sparkly and so almost luminescent. It's absolutely gorgeous. So
yeah, I think it frames any dot. I like the fact that you've got that sort of layer of whatever you snapped into it. You've got this blue frame that just sort of highlights and enhances the dot that's snapped into the foundation setting. So it's lovely.
How many of us just want to walk around with a nice blingy frame around our head?
Yeah. So I think the light shining upon us, as the light hits the crystals, highlights all our beautiful features.
Exactly. That's not at all extra. So that seems like a totally reasonable thing to want to do. Okay, taking a look at our next slide now.
So our next slide, again, those three primary colours. So this is our blue. So I have chosen our natural lapis statement dot and original. But I snapped it into our forged necklace. And what I really like about this is the combination of textures going on here. Because the forged necklace has that organic feel, and the lapis is a natural stone, I think it's got that really earthy tone look to it.
Yeah.
And the lapis dot has the rope edge going around, so that whole, you've got lots of things going on, and I just think the whole look works very well, and it gives you that organic feel. And again, the lapis has a slight sort of, though it's a polished stone, it sort of has a slight dull finish to it as well, and I think that works. Again, you've got those three different tones going on, and of course with lapis they're all different because they're natural stones, and you've got those lovely little flecks of gold and sort of a tonality in the stone as well. So I think that's a great combination, and again another bold statement, and I think it sort of works with quite a lot of looks. I think you can pick out any tone of blue. I think any blue outfit that you had, I think that works very well with.
Yeah, it's I think that the cool thing that you've done here too is sometimes we have a tendency to, because this has an antiqued rope edge, to think, okay, I need to put it, I'm going to put it in an antiqued setting. I'm going to choose a foundation that's also antiqued. And what you've done here is you've used just like a shiny silver, because the forged, it doesn't have antiquing. So it's just like the nice, shiny silver. But because of that, what's happening is that detail of the rope edge really pops because it's not getting lost in another layer. So I think that's the benefit of, using some of the, an antiqued dot, but in a shiny, shiny silver foundation or whatever the color is. So,
but I think also you say that, and it really pops, but actually it works. This dot works brilliantly in the Allure line as well, because what you get is that double rope effect.
Yeah.
That stepped effect, and I think that also it's sort of a completely different look, but again works very well. But for me, it's that sort of layered texture look that I like with this setup and the look we've got here.
So what you're saying, Claire, is that our dots look good in lots of different foundations.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And I think
Just wanted to clarify.
I think what you'll see by sort of the end, when we've gone through all of these looks, that it's actually, there is no wrong or right, and that it's, and not to be scared to play around with the look and what dots you're snapping into which foundations, you know, it's anything goes, and sort of depending on your mood. I think that's the lovely thing about sort of our jewelry, is that by just snapping in a different dot, you can change your look, or it can suit the mood that you're in. So I think that combination, but again, just don't be scared of having a go and playing around with different combinations.
Yeah. And I think somebody mentioned in the comments, so we're going by here, I was noticing that the lapis dots work great with jeans, I think, because in all honesty, there's so many different shades in that dot that if you're wearing kind of, you know what I mean, the indigo wash, darker jeans, they look great. If you're wearing just a regular, you know, stone washed, it looks great. If you're wearing something that's even a little bit, you know, paler, it really does look good, I think, with all the different shades of denim that we have currently kind of out in the market. So,
but then also, because we're coming into summer, it actually would look really great if you wore with white denim as well. So, you know, you've got that real contrast, you know, for a real summer zing, and then that pop of blue against the silver. I think that is sort of a really sophisticated, chic look, you know, to have that combination.
Yeah. Yep. Reds and blues. And then, so what's our other primary color?
Our other primary color is yellow. So we have our classic statement link necklace and our yellow rosette. And then I've paired this with our elongated link necklace. And I think you could either do the 20-inch or the 28-inch on this one. And then our classic necklace drop, and then the coordinating original rosette there. And I just think that is just pure summer, really. You know, you've got that real pop of bright sunshine yellow, and the crystals in these are just lovely. They're again an AB, but it's a color called jonquil. So and I was doing some research the other day, and I didn't realize, but jonquil is another name for daffodil. So that's why, yeah, I was researching, and I put in jonquil, and loads of images of daffodils came up. So that's where that name comes from. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I would say about yellow. This is my opinion. Claire, if I'm wrong, just tell me later. Don't tell me now. But I feel like a lot of people are afraid to wear yellow. Because of their skin tone or whatever. Yellow's probably is a trickier color sometimes to wear, depending on, there's just certain seasons in your skin tone that look best. And so, but one of the things that I've noticed, because this is the color of the year here in 2021. So you're going to be seeing maybe not a full on yellow, you know what I mean, outfit or top or whatever, but I think that you're going to be seeing them using this yellow as a really common accent, where, you know, it's a floral top or something, and it's got this kind of bright yellow, especially as we go into summertime. And so what I would say to you is, don't be afraid to just pick out like a small accent color that's in a top or something, and wear, even if you feel like normally you couldn't wear a solid yellow top, you totally could, you know, wear a floral top, maybe that has a bit of yellow in it, a bit of the color of the year, so it feels like you're on trend, and then really accentuate that with your dots. So, and
actually, the two colors that Pantone have brought out, yellow is the sort of the accent color, but what they've paired it with is gray. So if you imagine if you've got sort of a mild grey t-shirt or something like that, or even sort of even a darker grey, and you put this combination with it, I think though you're wearing sort of a softer colour being the grey, but you've got this pop of bright sunshine yellow, I think that combination just would look stunning together.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not a yellow person. I don't wear a lot of yellow, but I think in that way of wearing sort of a solid sort of neutral color in terms of a top, and then having that pop of bright color works brilliantly. So I think that's sort of a really good sort of idea and tip for summer.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't want to wear a strong bright color,
but you can add that pop of color by sort of accenting with our jewelry.
And yellow is such a happy color. And I feel like I typically, if I'm going to accessorize and kind of pull out the yellows, a lot, like I have on a navy top right now. I think somebody had mentioned navy and yellow look great together. And this is just a personal opinion, I have a tendency to steer away from black and yellow, just because to me that's like a bumblebee. Like I can't get that out of my head. And I should say no, I'm just embracing, the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was my grandpa's favorite football team. Like, I'm sure there's other ways to think about it, but I do think that that shade of yellow, that bright yellow with a navy, is also a really sharp look. So, good job. Okay.
So you have your 3 primary colors. So the next sort of phase of colors, you have secondary colors. So if you imagine taking 2 of the primaries and mixing them together, then that you end up with your secondary colors. So our first secondary color is green. So you've got our green glimmer here. And this green is lovely because it's a really rich sort of forest green. And we paired that with AB crystal. So it actually makes that green so intense in terms of sort of the color and the pop coming out. And I had to use the bling necklace again because I just love that layering of crystal, the whole frame, and it just is just so glistening there. And our bling bangle again is just lovely. And then that tiny pop of color. What I like about the original glimmer is that you just have that line of enamel going around and then lots of in the center. So I think that is a really coordinated look, lots of shimmer and shine. So I think sort of that combination is just great.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, let's see what is our next.
So our next is
there's a lot of purple fans out there.
Yeah, a lot of purple. And again, in purples, there's with all colors, so many tones of this, but this is a really sort of mid-tone purple. And then we have got AB crystals here, but because they're against an amethyst backing, they pull so many different colors through on these crystals. And then you've got sort of all your dot details, your sort of metal dots going around in the whirl. And I snapped these into our Allure collection. So you've got the statement necklace and the earrings there. And again, I think I just love sort of the strong geometric baguette at the top. Gives that really pinpoint and then draws your eye down to the dot that's snapped into the necklace. So again, another striking look.
Yeah. And that's kind of the amethyst AB is a newer crystal for us in this. So lots of purple fans out there. Okay. And then our last secondary color.
So our last secondary color is orange. So again, I find personally orange quite a tricky color. And I know we do have sort of orange fans out there as well, but particularly the sapphire dot that we have is more sort of a coral. The crystals in it are a coral, so it pulls slightly more that coral tone. But again, I just think this combination is lovely, and I like the tonality of this because although it's orange enamel, but because you've got the crystal name is Pabradasha, so it's quite a special crystal that we actually want to use quite a lot, but they're quite tricky to get. So we have to sort of, and they only come in certain sizes. So we were lucky with this design that actually we were able to get the crystals that worked in this piece. Again, classic necklace and our Bolero bracelet with the original snapped in. So really clean lines, sleek, and then this sort of bright pop of orangey coral snapped into the necklace and bracelet.
Yeah, I think that the coral is a lot easier for more people, a bigger variety of skin tones to wear because it's adding in a little bit of pink. So it's not just a straight kind of the bright orange that's a combination of red and yellow. It's adding in also a little bit of like a pink, purple kind of, what I mean? There's kind of that cooler undertone. So it allows, I think, a wider range of people to kind of really embrace this color. So so pretty. Okay, let's keep on. We're going to keep on moving because we've got a lot to go through.
So I just wanted to talk a bit about tonal color and how, you know, I know you're very more matchy in terms of dots, whereas I'm not, because I sort of like the fact that we have such a variety of designs.
Yeah.
And I want to sort of show them all off. So in our classic waterfall necklace is the perfect way to do this. So you can see there are 3 different dots snapped in. And they're all the same tone. So you've got the lighter sort of sapphire, light sapphire blue tones there. They just work sort of beautifully together, even though the patterns and the shapes are different, but they work as a set of 3. So I think that combination sort of gives you that tonal look.
Yeah.
But then I think if you move on to the next slide, you can change out and have a completely different look. So I've left the top blue Olivia at the blue Sophia at the top, but I wanted to give you an ombre effect. So so you've got the light sapphire at the top, then bringing in an aqua, so that's bringing in slightly more green tones, and then going for our teal shell dot. So you've got sort of the light, mid, and then dark. So it gives you that sort of ombre of color, but that works brilliantly as well. And particularly, you know, again, I think with this one, you've got a really detailed dot at the top, slightly simpler in the middle, and then clean line at the bottom. So you've got that whole texture and different look going on as well.
So ombre is huge. We're seeing, I'm glad you did one like this, because that certainly is a trend that we're not seeing go anywhere right now.
Yeah. So again, have fun. You know, there's lots of combinations you can do with that. So I think sort of working with that sort of ombre effect is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're going to be loving this one, because so many people are just huge blue fans. It's probably our most popular color of dots that we have. So
with this one, taking the darker tones of blue, you've got our blue druzy, you've got blue bloom, and then our sapphire couture. So there are slight sort of different tones there, but it's all on the darker side. Yeah. So you've got sort of that cohesive look with those 3 dots snapped into there. But then you can, if you move on to the next slide, keeping the blue bloom, again, I'm bringing in more tealy colours. So it's sort of varying to sort of pulling in those green tones. So you've got your teal zircon solitaire at the top, and then our sea dichroic down at the bottom. And the dichroic is a brilliant dot because it has so many colours within it.
Yeah.
It pulls all the other colours together, so you can see it's got both of the blues and the teals in there, so it actually just combines that whole look together, so you've got that cohesive sort of look. So I think that combination is great too.
Yeah, so going back to the one before, so to me that's kind of this monochrome look where they're all almost like a royal blue, but different shades within that, so different intensities, and I think that it works so well together because you've got almost like that druzy at the top, adds a little bit of weight to the brightness of the sapphire couture. And then you've got some pattern with the bloom. So don't be afraid to, I would say, to do things where they're different shades of purple or different shades of red or blue or whatever it is that it really does. Each shade is going to bring a little something different to your combination, to your dot combination. So
the other thing I like about that as well is, you know, you've got sort of bold dots top and bottom, and then a bit of lightness in the middle. So you've got the breathing space in the middle of that combination. Yeah. So not all sort of solid, you know, because you've got sort of just that pop of blue in the center with the bloom. And that's reflected either side. So I think the balance is right.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, and there we are with our reds now.
So you can work the same with the reds, and our Scarlet Couture, I think, is a perfect example of this because it has those combination of reds in there. So it's sort of got the garnet tones, but then it also has your brighter red, sort of ruby tones in there as well. So all I've done is just sort of pick out that crystal color and then highlighted it either side with a dot that sort of matches with those crystals. So you've got the garnet solitaire there and then our red twinkle. So I think sort of, again, it's that balance. You're picking up the tones that you've got from the center couture.
And okay, I love what she does, because I would have taken that and I would have done a solitaire and a solitaire, like in the garnet and the ruby, just again because I'm so matchy and like to try to balance things. But I love the fact that you plugged in the twinkle, because it gives the fact that it's a center crystal and then the crystals around. I feel like it gives a uniqueness to it, and almost like there's it adds detail to the
yeah, and it gives you a bit more dimension and a bit more interest going on there. So, you know, though the coutures are amazing and they're lovely, but you also want to be able to look at the other sort of dots as well. So I think by having different combinations makes you look at a piece overall rather than just one individual dot.
Yeah. Love it.
So again, I wanted to pull in other colours that you could wear with the Scarlet Couture. So again, you don't have to be matchy, though the Scarlet has got red tones in. But within colour, you can talk about sort of the colour wheel. And there's sort of a warm side to the colour wheel and there's a cool side to the colour wheel. So on the warm side, you've got it sort of starts with purples and pinks and then goes to reds and yellows, and that's your sort of warm side, and your cool side is your blue aqua green. So when you're combining colours, there's no harm in mixing those two, but sort of to have a slightly sort of more coordinated look with the same sort of feel is to pull the colours from that side of the same side of the colour wheel. So I pull tones from that warm side, so pulling the yellow and the orange that sits perfectly with that red in the centre. Yeah.
Things like this one, Claire, when you build out looks like this, in all honesty, I love that it forces me out of my box. And so, you know, it makes me think, okay, I can tell you what I'm going to do with that Scarlet, but you make me think, like, I wouldn't have thought to put these all together and tap into that whole warm color spectrum. But a lot of times that's what we're seeing in wardrobe in your fashion. So do we have another one, or okay, so there, look at that.
So yeah, and I think sort of you can see from that chart sort of where the cool and the warm colours are, but then you have that crossover point. So you can see that sort of green and yellow actually would work, tonality would sit together, and again purple and red sit well together. And that's sort of in between, the purple and the red that's where your pinks come. So those combinations, you can see that sort of in between area is where the pink tones are. So there is crossover, but that gives you sort of a good example of where the colours are placed.
Yeah, I remember I was doing some interior design classes, and so it's the whole, here's your colors, here's your primary, here's your secondary, here's your tertiary, which is like how you pull in the fuchsias and all of that. And it was so, like, studying that color theory was so interesting, but unfortunately it didn't make me less matchy. So I'm hoping that you can help me do that, Claire. I may just surprise everybody. Everybody's coming for Dot Destination, so we're going to be seeing a bunch of our leaders and the gals coming for Dot Destination. They may just be like, oh my word, look at how not matchy Gina is. I may surprise you all. You never know. So how do you know if you are cool or warm? That's a great question, Twana. There is actually, it's called seasons, your seasons. And so there's like, somebody can look at your skin tone, and there are people that are certified or whatever to do it. But usually warm tones are like Anna Marie is warm. I'm weird, I think, because I've been told that I'm an autumn, which is a warm tone, and I look good in all of that, but I can tell you I get the most compliments when I wear winter colors. So Who knows, really? But typically, if you have a warm skin tone, if you put a gold frame next to or something gold next to your skin, and it looks good and kind of makes your face come alive, then that would mean that you are a warm tone. If silver looks better for you, then typically you're when I had my colors done, that's what they did. They literally had empty gold frame, an empty silver frame, and they put our face in the middle of this frame. And so, but
I also think you shouldn't sort of put yourself in a box and say, well, I am warm or sort of cold. I think it's great to experiment and to try different things. I think we're all culprits of sticking with what we know, and sometimes it's nice just to sort of take a step out and try a different color that you don't normally wear. Like, actually, green is not a color where I wear very much, but today I've got green on and snapped in sort of our green shell statement.
Mm-hmm.
I actually love it, but it was just, I feel it was the top that I pulled out. And I thought, actually, that would work really well together. And it does. So it's sort of experimenting and sort of trying something different.
And here's the thing. Ultimately, I think if you feel confident in it, that it's a great color on you. Like, wear what makes you feel the most confident. And when somebody, this is one of the things that I heard a long time ago, is when somebody compliments how you look, not what you're wearing, that means that whatever you're wearing is making you look better, because they're not noticing, oh, that's a gorgeous top or whatever, and complimenting you on your dress or your top, but they're saying, well, you look great today or whatever. Then what it's doing is that is bringing out all the best bits of you in how you present yourself. So
definitely.
Okay, then now we have a cool.
So we have a cool look. So a cool erring into warm. So what I have done is sort of pulled the blue aqua, but then just pulling in purple as well, because I love this combination of colours. I just think it works really get well together. And you can see in our purple Victoria, because it's got the AB crystal in the centre, you can see there are tones of blue and aqua in that crystal. And what that does then draws your eye to the other colours that you have there. So actually it sort of pulls the whole look together. And of course, in our Allure bracelet, because you've got the baguettes, the crystal baguettes along the bracelet, again, it gives you breathing space across the colour. But I like that sort of, that you've got a hint of crystal in between each dot. So I think that combination, I just think the colours are gorgeous there.
So pretty. Now we're really mixing things up.
We are really mixing things up. So I wanted to just give you a real inspiration where you can just pull any color together. But what I've done here is sort of bringing in our sea couture, and because it's got that teal color, it's got teals, sort of light soft green, and then the pop of fuchsia. So I wanted to then highlight all of those colours and pull them into sort of other dots and accessories that we have. So you've got the teal zircon solitaire, then our green Victoria, and then our new fuchsia tassels that Gina launched and she's wearing on Tuesday. And then our fuchsia braided wrap bracelet in the fuchsia. But I think that whole combination is just gorgeous, just sort of a riot of colour. And I think sort of stacked on your wrist, and actually when you look at that combination, depending on what top you're wearing. And so, for example, if you're wearing black, the black will be sort of your background and your foundation to that whole combination. But you could also pick out any outfit, a fuchsia top, a green top, a teal top, white, anything would work with that whole look.
Yeah, love it.
And then
another great combo.
Another combination. Again, using our rainbow style stack bracelet, because that has all sort of the colours in it, you can then pull in all the different colours. So you've got sort of the aqua, purple and sapphire. And I think what that does is then draws all the colours out of the rainbow style stack. Again, I think you could swap all of those dots around, and I've put the emerald solitaire into the rainbow style stacks, but I think you could pop any of those dots into that and have a play and sort of move them all around, because I think that whole combination works really well together. You've got sort of a really eclectic mix there. So
as we close, I'm going to give you guys some homework. I just came up with this. Claire's going to be like, what is she doing? Now I'm going to give myself homework, honestly. So like today, because I saw what Claire did on Tuesday. So I'm literally layering up. I have 3 tassels. I've got the silver, the navy, and the fuchsia. All the tassels kind of hanging off, just because you guys know I have a tendency, like if you're wondering if earrings and the necklace and a bazillion dots will work, you know that that's kind of, for the most part, my MO. So I'm going to challenge myself, and I want to challenge you to, in the next couple of days, and be sure to like post it and tag Style Dots in your post so that we can just follow the hashtag and we can see. But how are you pushing yourself outside of the box in how you accessorize in the dots that you wear? So maybe it's a bracelet that you normally wear with this dot. Like I have a tendency to do the rainbow druzy in the rainbow style stacks. That's kind of my go-to. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to wear the rainbow style stacks, I'm going to push myself and not go to my old standby, but look at my dot collection and how can I really mix it up. The other fun thing that I wanted to mention that I love about Style Dots and all the different colors is I ordered a pair of pants in the mail, and it has their fun little, I call them party pants because the bottom edge is all decorative. And they're probably meant to be like crop pants, but on me, they're like whatever it's called when they hit you just above the ankle. They're a little lower on me, but I needed a top for it. And I loved that. I literally got out the dots that I have. I matched a dot to the color that was on the bottom of the pants. And then when I wanted to go out and get the top, all I did was like then match a top to that dot. Didn't have to drag the pants in and out of the store or whatever. I could just like use, okay, there's so many, we have such a huge range of colors that I was like, yeah, I'm totally going to use this to match the color that I need in a top. So there's another little tip for you. But anything else in closing, Claire?
No, I just think have fun with it. There's no right or wrong, but push yourself, definitely. I think it's about exploring different color combinations. And, if you have your dot collection in front of you, play around, put colors together, move them about, It's a bit like a game of chess, moving all your pieces around, just sort of pulling all those just to see what you feel works together and what you feel comfortable wearing as well. Yeah. There's no point wearing a piece that you don't feel confident in and comfortable in, but there's that sort of, not like you said, you always go to your go-to pieces, and maybe just sort of have a think about, changing it out, or maybe not go matchy, maybe go tonality, but sort of different dots. So I think just have fun with it. That's what it is. Just have fun.
Yeah. Just you wait. You guys are going to be shocked. I thought this was outside of the box. I was kind of proud of myself. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at layering up all those tassels and I have all the zhuzh going. So, okay. Well, I think that's all that we have for you. Don't forget to join us. Next Tuesday is our next live, Style Dots Live Tuesday night at 8:00 Eastern. And a little birdie told me that I maybe am going to have some special guests. So I think that you're going to want to be on it, especially like if you have questions about the business too, for sure, put that on your calendar, that next live. But I think that it's going to be an exciting live next week. And then the Tuesday after that, we have another extra special live for you. We're trying to make each one of these lives, honestly, just really be of service to you and give you fun tips and bring you fun new exclusives all the time. So have a great day, everybody. Happy Thursday. Have a good time this weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Belated happy
St. Patrick's Day. But take care, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you so much.